Quiros and Lima immediately into it. Quiros in the pale green gi. Lima in the white. Quiros is throwing us a bit of a curveball. Used to him having a bit longer hair. And he comes out with the same, almost identical haircut.
I mean, even on the
Lima.
fight poster, he had the long hair
there. Those flowing locks. He's thrown us a curveball. I was banking on the hair to differentiate these boys, but now we're going to go by gi, which is probably a better idea to begin with.
So both working from a double-seated position here. Neither guy really wants top position, I think. And this is more apparent in gi jiu-jitsu, is just when you work from bottom position, you have the ability to use all 4 of your limbs to attack your opponent. Versus from top position, you're using your 2 legs to hold yourself up, off, like just to physically be standing up, which means you only get to work with your 2 arms. So both here constantly pummeling their feet to inside position here. We even saw Lima go straight to an X guard earlier.
Lima's really riding the bicep.
Yeah, so it's interesting because Lima's working the sleeves there, like looking to control the sleeves, while Quiros is looking to control the pants with his 2 hands.
It's an interesting dynamic.
Oh, and then snapping to the triangle and onto the armbar.
Oof.
Running interference with his legs there to defend.
Oh, the angle of that elbow.
Break over a hip there.
Amazing escape. Amazing escape from Lima, and he goes straight into attacking the legs.
Leg locks. He's got him in a double leg Ashi here, looking to attack that toe hold.
Wow, what fun.
That was really impressive from Lima there on the armbar escape. You notice that he did not allow his shoulders to rest on the floor. And really, that's the key to escaping an armbar. The moment you are not moving, that is when you're going to get your arm seriously broken. As long as you can actually stay active and you can continue to move your body, you'll be able to relieve a tremendous amount of pressure.
Yeah, and there was a few times where we saw that pressure. You could see the angle of the elbow. I mean, it couldn't have been more straight. You can only imagine the pressure and the pain that came with it.
Absolutely.
And Lima just manages to stick it out.
Well, did a good job of constantly just misaligning his elbow on that armbar.
Yeah,
and and then Quiros looking to go immediately to that snap armbar again, and then coming up into passing. Placing him in a smash pass there, but Lima's doing a good job getting his legs back in front of him.
Moving on to the black belts now, and I put a little bit of Creed into the belt ranks, but something we spoke about before was just 10 minutes. You don't get a lot of good reads on your people in that time, but we've already seen one armbar attempt from Quiros. The second time, Lima just wasn't having it. He threw that armbar up again. One was enough.
Yeah, when you get to this sort of level in jiu-jitsu, it really does come down to setup. So, you see the second time around, then he recognizes the setup and he's able to address it much earlier. Versus before, I imagine it probably took him by surprise quite a fair bit. So here you both see the competitors jockeying for inside position. You got Lima trying to pummel his feet over the top there to bring his 2 legs together. While Quiros is doing a good job getting his feet on the inside. He's playing off a false hook here, which is a good way to use your legs to set up your ankle locks. Even though ankle locks, a lot of times, what people take away from them is the upper body control they're using, physically wrapping up in the ankle, but really your legs should be doing most of the work there. So right now, he should be looking to try and turn Lima's knee to the outside, as well as get his right leg planted on the hip if he can. You'll also see famous competitors like Mikey Musumeci use this sort of ankle lock to start setting up their back attacks.
It's so true, isn't it? You start getting attacked, you worry about the submission, and whether you know it or not, you're probably giving up something as well. Whether it be your back, whether it be position, whether it be grips.
difficult in situations like this where even if you did want to come up on top, because both competitors are holding the other one's legs, you can't even come up into top position if you wanted to, unless like exactly like this, like, you know, you let go of the legs to switch to other things. When you see those guys working those like double pant grips, straight into guard passing here, trying to work a leg drag, and then now into a, good job from Kyrros there, defending both guard passes there.
It's testament to just what you said. It's like, throws up a triangle attempt. Lima's hips just way too high.
Yeah, and just doing a good job gaining as much head height as possible there.
Yeah, to your point, do you try and stand and pass, but possibly give access to your legs, and you can get swept, and then you can get your legs attacked? It's a conundrum.
On the flip side of it, you know, taking top position is a really good way of pressing the action on the other person.
Absolutely. Especially if it's pretty close.
Yeah.
It's pretty apparent if you're the guy on top and you're able to pressure the other one, especially when you've only got 3 minutes left like these boys do. What's the main issue here for Lima in his inability to pass? I mean, besides the leg that he's obviously got over the top, what's your move?
So really, it's almost like an idea you can borrow from chess. So right now, Kyrros is doing a good job completely controlling the inside position.
He is.
And just to take a completely nerdy route with this, you'll see this in chess, when your whole goal is to control the center of the board. And what that does is when you control the center of the board, it puts you in a position where you have the greatest number of options, and when your opponent plays on the outside, they have very limited options. So it makes it easier for you to shut down whatever moves your opponent's going to make. So it just basically it just puts you in a position where you have significantly more tools at your disposal and really limits your opponent's tools.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it means, like, you know, when your opponent's got limited tools, it means it's easy now for you to start just, like, you know, targeting those tools that they have and like making sure that they can't use them while starting to work your own attacks.
It's a brilliant analogy, because the position we just saw for literally like a couple of minutes, it was Kyrros dominating the inside. Even when Lima was able to come up, he wasn't able to pass. He wasn't able to get around the legs because his legs were spread apart. They were exposed. Everything down the middle, including his base, was being dictated by Kyrros.
Exactly, and you know, essentially when you're working from that inside position, it's exactly that, like divide and conquer. It means that, you know, you cannot use his whole body, like, you know, to attack Kyros's body in whatever fashion it may be. So again, now you see Kyrros jockeying for the same sort of position. It's tough though, because even though Kyrros is doing a good job of denying Lima, you know, getting his attacks going, I still feel like that Lima's actually pressing the action for the most part.
Yeah, even a lot of these back and forth that are happening, it's because he's choosing to initiate.
To come up on top, and it really feels more like Kyrros is simply denying rather than really sort of asserting anything of his own.
That's
and
a
he's doing a fantastic job of denying, but it's just he's not taking it that extra step. It's about 1 minute remaining here. I'd be pretty frustrated in Lima's position right now. Like you're trying to like find some breakthroughs. And then straight into a knee roll from Kyrros. I take back what I said about him taking that extra step. This is amazing transition. Super tight here.
That's a tap.
That was amazing.
Wow.
Very, very tight knee bar there. That was fantastic.
With less than a minute left, but to your point, I think it could have been that frustration. It was almost in that really big, exaggerated guard pass attempt that he almost left his leg out there to be subbed. But
yeah, I think so. Like you know, you're looking, there's a minute left, and you feel like, well, I don't really know if I've done a lot, but I've been put in an armbar once so far. You're like, well, I'm going to push the action now, and you know, nothing given, nothing risked, nothing gained. Well done to Diego, though. Great knee bar to pull out right at the end there.
I mean, you can't fault Lima if it was that close. And like you said, if he's flinging arm bars at you early, who knows which way he could go. For him to do that aggressive move with only a minute left, you're going to see that. And so you should. He should have been trying to get back and make a more dominant finish to the fight. But unfortunately, like counter-punching, it was almost that he initiated and he ate a counter-punch, except this time it was a knee bar. Here we see that fantastic armbar escape. You can see the thumbs pointing up. Tremendous amount of pressure on there. He manages to escape, and then later on,
switching to his own leg attack here. He's got his legs locked around his opponent's two legs, going in on a toe hold. And then you see him come up at the end here. He's trying to pass around, but Kyrgios does such a fantastic job here, retaining his guy, keeping his legs back in front.
We're almost seeing the frustration live as it's happening.
Yeah.
You know, it's like his ability to use his legs and throw them up and constantly keep them in the way. Attacks the arm here, flips him over, and the leg's right there.
And immediately it's just in such a strong braking position, just over that top hip there. It gets it behind the shoulder.
Oh, the amount of pressure you can leverage once it goes under the armpit. Terrible stuff. Quick tap from Lima, cannot be blamed. That was so deep. If you can get that foot up under your armpit, it means that knee line is just so close to your hips, so you can generate all that torque. That's a tap 7 days a week. That feels horrible.